This morning's scriptures are both brief and well known, beginning with Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 and 4. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter upon heaven, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. And on Psalm 126, verses 2 and 3. That our mouths were filled with laughter and our tongue with shouts of joy. Then it was said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. May God bless the reading of his holy word. Well, like you, I'm at a loss to how to explain fully all the vitriol and name calling that's come to be in our society that have replaced civility in the last decade or so, and taking its toll on truth and honesty. One of the few sanctuaries of grace and compassion are the churches of Christendom, doing their good work, helping each other, and giving praise to God. Some psychologists believe that one way to calm the seas is that there should be more communication with one another and more fun and more laughter. They tell us that health issues may also be involved because laughter provides health benefits, reducing stress and lowering tension in the world. With that in mind, I thought it might be interesting to see what kinds of church messaging exist that might cause some laughter, generally through announcements, newsletters, church signage. Laughing at ourselves is really important. I found these from across almost every denomination and from all parts of the country. I don't vouch for their veracity, but here goes some of them. A church marquee just over the southern border of Nevada reads, "What happened in Vegas can be here corrected." A church sign parking lot in the parking lot that reads, "For church parking only, violators will be captured and baptized." Do you think we could put one of those up in our lot, Jack? A church sign that reads, "Do you know what hell is like? Listen to our choir on Sunday." A church sign that reads, "Here you don't have to be an Olympic swimmer to be baptized." A sign that reads, "Forgive your enemies, it'll really mess with their heads." A sign that reads, "Adam and Eve didn't finish reading the Apple terms and conditions." A newsletter that reads, "On this past Thursday, Reverend Steinhofer tried to break up a street fight among some younger people. Unfortunately, he was punched in the fracas." I've yet to determine what part of the body the fracas is. On church attendance, there's a sign that says the fact that there's a highway to hell and a mere stairway to heaven tells you which way the traffic is flowing. A sign that says, "I don't know why people change churches. What difference does it make which one you stay home from?" And a sign that says, "Don't wait for the hearse to get you to church." I like this one, and it has to do with robbery. It said, a sign says, to whoever stole our 2 brand new air conditioners for the church should keep one of them, because it's going to be awfully hot where you're going. The newsletter excerpt of church activity. Our reverse chili cook-off was well attended. George Gator was the winner, not because his had the best flavor, but it was deemed most likely to lead to massive internal indigestion explosion. The newsletter excerpt, Barbara Jones is still in the hospital undergoing transfusions. One of her dire maladies is an inability to sleep. She sent word to the church office that there was only one fix that she knew of, to immediately get her copies of Reverend Patterson's sermons. The newsletter excerpt, George Spivey has given our church a brand new and very loud loudspeaker system as a memorial to his just departed wife, Eleanor. He said, I thought of lots of options, but none was as fitting as this loudspeaker system. And finally, a church announcement made in Wisconsin. Actually in Racine, I think. An African missionary of our church is speaking over at Memorial Church tonight at 7. Her name is Barbara Belch. I urge all of you to go over and hear Barbara Belch all the way from Africa. Well, I hope you had some smiles or laughter out of some of them. But anything, including laughter, that strengthens our love and joy for one another helps us all. We all have a role to play in trying to restore decency in our discourse. I'll leave you with one of my favorite scriptures in this positive outlook and guide for day-to-day living. Paul provided this in his letter to the church at Philippi. Think of these things. Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honorable, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are of beauty, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think about these things. May God's limitless grace envelop all of us sinners.